The wonders of diversity, feeling mindfulness through the eyes of different religions. In diversity there is beauty and there is strength. The world is filled with many different tones. Some tones we are popularly familiar with, while others we may have never ever heard of before. But that doesn't mean that some of them are less vital than the others. They are all of an equal great value. We need all of these tones to create the perfect harmonies that we call love and life. Everything would seem terribly boring if it all looked the same. Diversity fills our life with many wonders. It brings color to the world that we live in. Just like there are many different kinds of flowers, animals, and trees, there are many different kinds of people all over the world. These people have come to live through groups, and in doing so they have created different languages, ways of life, beliefs, and so on. Out of these different languages, beliefs, and ways of life, there have emerged traditions and religions. Now that we know that mindfulness is, wouldn't it be interesting to take a little trip and see what mindfulness is like in different religions? So let's go. The Buddhist approach to mindfulness. Mindfulness is often associated with Eastern psychology, specifically Buddhism. Buddhists have been practicing meditative practice that have somewhat included mindfulness for over 2,500 years. The Pali word sati and samriti in Sanskrit is usually interpreted as mindfulness. When translated literally into English, the sati or samriti simply means to be aware. The Buddhists use the mindfulness as a meditation practice includes both conscious awareness and the unconscious. In Buddhism, the definition of mindfulness refers to an open or receptive awareness, in which attention is focused on one's ongoing immediate experience. The focus on one's awareness through mindfulness meditation involves attending to experience without attachment. Such meditation encompasses a calm observation of one's own ongoing experience by choosing one's thoughts and memories without the elicitation of an automatic reaction. This is sometimes called bare attention, a term coined by Buddhist monk Nyanaponika. People who learn mindfulness are capable of allowing their thoughts, imaginations, and sensations to occur without judgment, whereby the natural circulation of the body-mind continuously arises into awareness. The metta meditation in Tibet. Metta meditation or loving kindness meditation originates out of Buddhism and was developed to establish a selfishness among people, which can bring about peace and happiness. This practice can be done by repeating one or more metta phrases, and while important, the stability of one's attentiveness or emotional states are not the main focus. Examples of metta phrases are as follows. May you be free from danger. May you be mentally happy. May you be physically happy. May you be full of well-being. May you be free from suffering. These phrases may be recited when strong negative feelings comes up in order to help establish a compassion for yourself and others. The history of mindfulness and Hinduism. Hinduism is widely considered as the oldest religion in the world, but its history is hard to trace. The earliest traditions that have been incorporated into Hinduism arose more than 4,000 years ago in the Indus Valley, now Pakistan. Hinduism continued to develop, and thus religious writing and scriptures followed. Mindfulness is closely intertwined with meditation, which has been revealed through the Bhagavad Gita and its discussion on yoga. Many yoga practices incorporate mindfulness, wherein most involve attending to one's awareness of the body. One example is indoor yoga, or body scanning meditation. This type of meditation promotes a greater awareness of the physical body. It incorporates the physical sensation and visualization as an anchor of the mind to stabilize within the physical body. Therefore, becoming more aside in the present moment, yoga indoor can greatly help to improve one's awareness, reduce stress, sleep better, and improve attention. Dhyana in Hinduism is commonly translated as meditation. When translated literally, it means the contemplation practiced during yogic exercises. Practicing dhyana is how a person can attain samadhi, which is the state of meditative consciousness where the mind becomes very still and merged with the objects of its attention. Thus, the Hindu field of mindfulness is still very similar to that of Buddhism. Both religions viewed mindfulness as an inward state of attentiveness, awareness, and consciousness. The Christian faith and mindfulness. Eastern practice of mindfulness mostly involve an attempt to empty one's mind of common thought patterns that often occupy the mind during busy everyday life. This is quite a contrast with how the Christian faith sees mindfulness, or more specifically, mindful meditation. Rather than having an empty mind, the Christian faith suggests that the mind should be occupied by contemplating a truth. These truths are found in the scripture passages as God's attributes, God's promises, or even the reality of heaven. This means that Christianity encourages an active mind, whereas Eastern practices encourage a more passive mind. Christian mindful meditation is directed outward toward a personal God, unlike Eastern methods that emphasize more of an inward and more impersonal view. Be still, know that I am God. This passage is an indication that the Christians have explored practice that encourage a quiet, reverent senses before God. This is often referred to as contemplation. Christian meditation implies that individuals who practice meditation are practicing it according to the Christian's belief. Some examples might be increasing one's attentiveness to God's presence, creating a space to hear God's voice, moving prayers beyond words to have a closer relationship to God. Learning to take the focus one's attention off of the self and to increase impulse of love and compassion towards others. Mindfulness is still rarely discussed in relation to the Islamic belief. Interestingly, in Islam, there is a value called muraqabah, watching, observing, paying attention attentively. It may not have exactly the same meaning. However, there is clear etymological and linguistic closeness between mindfulness and muraqabah. Muraqabah can be understood as the constant understanding of one's submission to and beliefs in the authority, truth, and glory of God. A Muslim who is in the state of muraqabah has a continuous and full knowledge that Allah is the knower of him both in and out. This condition is a state of full self-awareness and awareness of God in heart, mind, and deed. Muraqabah includes mindfulness towards one's attention, thoughts, motion, and inner states. The philosophical connection to mindfulness. In Norway, Glitter describes the origin of philosophy and its application. Philosophy can be traced back to the Scandinavians, a group of people who love nature. This term has first used by Henrik Ibsen, a Norwegian playwright and poet, in 1859. In a poem, he describes his thought as philosophy, which is used to describe an idea about life. The translation of this word is free air life, referring to a lifestyle based on experience of freedom in nature and a spiritual connectedness with the landscape. While this concept of mindfulness is commonly viewed as going outdoors, its core aim is to help people reconnect with nature, thus enhancing the consciousness and wholeness of their spirituality. Canfield gives some more example of the application of philosophy. When one goes into the countryside, listen to the bird singing and observe the flowers, which can help to find a release from the business of life and to feel the present moment. The nature relaxation therapy, Shinrin-yoku. Shinrin-yoku was coined by the Japanese government in the early 1980s, and it means to take in the forest atmosphere or forest bathing. Scholars also elaborate that, similar to philosophy, Shinrin-yoku encourages people to get in connect with nature in order to lower their anger and stress. In a sense, there is some similarity between how mindfulness is viewed in Islam, Christianity, and in Buddhism. The Islamic view of mindfulness compresses the Eastern way towards finding an inner calm and peace, while also keeping an attentive awareness towards an external God like the Christians do.